John Denise with Horizon Hobby. Looks like you've got some really neat looking new stuff from JR.
Oh, you bet. We've got some really cool stuff going on. Lots of big news here at JR. Horizon is actually starting to bring in the DMSS line, which is JR's proprietary RF protocol. The advantages of that are being able to have the same radios worldwide as the JR sells around the world. We've had a lot of interest from customers and consumers all around. They've been wanting to get their hands on the DMSS stuff. So what we've got going on right now, what I'm holding here is the XG11 from JR, which is their 11-channel full telemetry radio. Some of the cool new features, obviously it looks like the old 11X that we are continuing to sell. But as I said, it has the DMSS technology, which is their RF protocol. So obviously it has all the telemetry stuff that goes along with that. Programming changes, there's a few programming changes in the XG11 compared to the 11X. A few of them, one of the cool things actually now is we're going with the digital trim, so it's mode selectable, so consumers can choose between mode 1, 2, 3, or 4, and it's all one radio, no more having to order a separate radio.
No more swapping gimbals, no more anything, it's all programmable through the interface.
It's programmable, but you'll still have to go inside and change the spring on the throttle.
Oh sure, yeah.
But that's
obviously
the only difference.
You do that, but
yeah, most definitely.
You don't have to do any major surgery.
And also JR has gone to Lifey Pack. So we've got that in there now.
Very nice.
So keeping up with the times and the technology there. So of course that's the 11-channel version. We also have on the 11, the new battery, actually the 11 and the 8-channel both have the same battery. It's a 1400 6.4 volt Lifey.
Okay.
I haven't actually seen how long my transmitter will run, but I have charged it and then forgot to charge it and kept going out and flying and keep flying and keep flying. So it goes on and on. We also have, I've been able to fly, and the alarm's obviously on there, so it says, hey, you might want to charge your battery. It's like, oh yeah, I haven't charged that in a while, so definitely have to keep track of that. So we've got the 11. This is the 8-channel. Obviously it's a little bit smaller. Same features. The programming is basically the same as well. The way the logic goes in the programming. Same deal. You turn it on, you can get into the different menus. They all look the same as like what you're used to on your current JR radios.
JR trademark scroll wheel there makes programming a breeze.
And of course, like with the 11 channel that we currently have, now you don't have to go back to turn it off and do that push down deal.
Right.
So that's been on the old 11 as well.
Right.
But it's a lot of feature people probably don't know about. The cool thing about the telemetry stuff, you just scroll over here and you'll see all the different items on here that you can select. So you go up here, these are your telemetry options and things that you can have on that main screen. So if I wanted to put stick temperature on there, I could do that. RPM, altitude, you saw that there.
Yep.
And also one of the things that comes standard on the JR radios is the telemetry comes with all our receivers, and it's deep. It comes standard with the receiver pack voltage on there as well. So no matter what receiver you have, they all have that built into the receiver.
Right.
And and then for the introductory guys, we've got a 6-channel.
Look at that.
This one's pretty cute little radio. It's small.
Yeah.
Runs off dry cell. So you got the batteries in there. Or you could stick some rechargeables in there if you want.
Does it have a charge port on the outside?
Yes, it does. Right there.
You could put nickel metal hydrides in it, or NiCads.
I believe so. Yeah.
All right.
So you got that deal there. Same scroll wheel and everything like that. So obviously the DMSS stuff is not compatible with Spectrum or DSM 2.4 technology.
Right.
So obviously you'll have to have all the receivers. That's why we're bringing in the full line of JR receivers. We've got 2 Park Flyer receivers. We've got a 4-channel and a 6-channel. You notice the 4-channel doesn't have an antenna hanging out of it, because most likely you're going to be flying it indoors at it's a little Park Flyer foamy airplane.
Right.
Obviously you'll have plenty of range there. 6-channel, we've got the standard coax antenna on there. So then moving up here, we have 3 full range receivers, which is the 631B, the 831B, and the 1131. So you got a 6, an 8, and 11 channel radio. Now these come with them. These are the telemetry modules from JR. Okay. Which a lot of people say that's a remote receiver. It's not actually a remote receiver.
The telemetry module.
It's the telemetry module, but it also acts as a separate antenna for path diversity, which is one of the primary features about Spectrum technology is you have the path diversity and the solid link. So what you do is actually these receivers, when you bind them, you have to have the telemetry module plugged in, but after you bind it, you can disconnect it if you don't want to have to run that or you're not running telemetry.
Interesting. Now, does it have multiple ports for if you wanted to use more of these as satellite receivers?
No, this is just the one deal here.
Just the one deal on every receiver.
Yeah.
Okay.
And we do sell different versions. You've got, this is the chip antenna version, full range, and then this is the coax antenna version for park flyers, basically park flyer range.
Right.
And then you also have, like these have the chip antenna, then you have the full range with the coax as well, and then the short range with the chip antenna. And we have different lengths of leads as well that you can purchase.
Some great advantages here with the DMSS technology and the telemetry technology with these JR radios.
Yeah. Alrighty, so now we've got the receivers, we've got the telemetry modules, now you need sensors.
Right.
So let me show you the board for that. Excuse me. These are your telemetry sensors that we've got from JR. What they've done is they use a standard lead, which goes into the receiver in their data port, the telemetry port. And then we've also got a bus system. So this you can run up to 6 different sensors on one receiver.
And it's fed from the single unit, and then it runs right back to the receiver here.
This plugs into the receiver here.
Right.
So the different modules we have a power sensor, which basically gives you any information you want to know on power consumption on your model. It starts out, it's actually up to 18 volts and 80 amps. And it also does receiver voltage and all that fun stuff as well. So then you got a couple of different temperature sensors. This is your high temperature one for like heads of engines or motor temperatures.
You can attach this like to the head bolt of a glow engine.
Exactly. And then we've got a separate temperature one which doesn't go quite as high, which you'd use, I think it's up to like 200 degrees roughly in that range.
Okay.
So you can use those on your battery packs. You can just, it's real simple. It just slides in and sets on there.
Nice.
Got an altitude sensor. Uses barometric pressure to tell you how high you are. And then we've got 2 different rotation sensors or RPM sensors.
Right.
We've got an optic version, and we also have a magnetic version.
This would be typically used for glow engines on the crankcase, and you would typically maybe use the optical for an electric setup?
Yeah,
or
it doesn't really matter.
You can use either. They can be used either or. Okay.
So we've got that full line of telemetry stuff there.
Right.
And that pretty much wraps up the new JR radio stuff.
That is some really cool stuff from JR, no doubt about it, with the DMSS technology amongst that, with the telemetry technology that they have. What are you looking at typically for prices? Are all of these items available?
They'll be available soon. Okay. This is the first announcement of DMSS in the US. First one, more than likely, will be the 8-channel, probably in about 6 weeks or so, 6 to 8 weeks.
Okay.
Maybe a little bit more than that, not sure. Then also we'll have the 11 and the 6-channel. Price points, so we're looking at $230 for the 6-channel, which is a comes with a full range 631B receiver with the telemetry module. And then the 11 comes at $850 basically with an 11-channel receiver. The current 11X that we sell now comes with a 9-channel receiver. So we've listened to the customers as well, and they go, why don't I have an 11-channel receiver? So now they have an 11-channel receiver.
Nice.
And then the 8-channel comes with the 8-channel 831B receiver. And like I said, they all come with the telemetry, the receiver pack telemetry built into the receivers as well.